Good morning, everyone. I hope my sound is good for everybody this morning. I had pushed a bad button yesterday, and it made my sound a little bit too low. So, just real quick here, I'm going to, just for the sake of doing it, I'm just going to make sure that my microphone is turned up a little bit more. All right. If it's too loud, you can turn your sound down. It works better that way, I suppose. And if you're out there, just let me know if you can hear me or if I need to speak up. All right, so I didn't get a chance to really go through and look at any news or anything yet this morning. However, I do want to open up this morning with a prayer, and then we'll get into it. It's a prayer for safety and security. Dear Lord, you shall preserve me from trouble. You shall surround me with songs of deliverance. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. The Lord shall preserve me and you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. Amen. All right. So, one of the first things I did take and pop into X this morning, and I looked, just scrolling through to see what was going on, boom, that was right up at the top of the list. And apparently, if this was yesterday, it had to happen yesterday afternoon because I pretty much missed it. Let me just jump over here. I'm not going to bring stuff up on the screen this morning. So this came from a post originally from FBI Director Kash Patel. He posted this morning, the FBI thwarted a potential terrorist attack and arrested multiple subjects in Michigan who were allegedly plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend. More details to come. Thanks to the men and women of the FBI and law enforcement everywhere standing guard 24/7 and crushing our mission to defend the homeland. All right, so we do know that Kash is very vague on a lot of things that he talks about, and I'm guessing because there's still investigation going on. Now, this here came out 2 hours ago. It's a post from Kata Paul. I'm just looking to see if there's, he's just into stats, history, art, and photography, things like that. But he went a little bit more in depth on what happened there. He said the FBI arrested Amar Abdullah Jamid Mohammed Said, a 19-year-old from Melvindale, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit, along with any potential accomplices identified in the ongoing probe, said a former member of the Michigan Army National Guard. Said is the guy, the 19-year-old. He's a former member of the Michigan Army National Guard. So he faces federal charges, including attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization, ISIS, and distributing information related to destructive devices. These carry severe penalties, potentially up to 20 years or life in prison. So it sounds like explosive because it says severe penalty. What are they related to destructive devices? Okay, the plot. Sayed had been plotting for months to stage a mass shooting at the U.S. Army's Tank, Automotive, and Armaments Command, TACCOM facility, also known as the Detroit Arsenal in Warren, Michigan. He shared detailed plans, including handwritten diagrams of the site, with undercover FBI officers posing as ISIS sympathizers. The attack was timed to align with the ISIS directives, but specifics on a direct Halloween tie-in beyond the weekend's heightened vulnerability are still emerging. He launched a reconnaissance drone just before his arrest on October 30th, 2025, signaling the plot was imminent. So this is how it was stopped. The investigation began over a year ago after Sayed confided in an undercover FBI employee about his long-standing desire to engage in violent jihad. 2 undercover officers infiltrated his network, recorded meetings and communications. The arrest happened Tuesday evening, preventing any execution. No shots were fired, and no public areas were directly threatened in the final stages. The broader context, this echoes past Michigan terror disruptions like the 2020 militia plot against Governor Gretchen Whitmer. What we know is now fake. That was debunked. I don't even know why that was mentioned. But this one's ISIS-linked and military-focused. The FBI's counterterrorism division emphasized their steadfast commitment to stopping such threats, crediting joint efforts with local law enforcement and the U.S. Attorney's Office. All right. So then Danielle posted, I'll leave this here, data from the trucking industry. And she posted, I might actually bring this one up. Let me switch back over to my other screen here. Let's see. There we go. All right. Because I have to be on this screen. Looks like my stuff is kind of blocking that. Let me fix that really quick. I love how you can do stuff on the fly here. Okay. All right. So, make sure I get in the right screen. So, Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Okay, let's first, before we get into this, we all know Dearborn Heights is, from the way I understand it, almost completely switched over to Muslim. The very few people, non-Muslims, Christians that still live there, are complaining about the call to prayer 5 times a day, and especially the ones late at night and the one at like 5 or 5:30 in the morning. As of yet, it's been pretty quiet there. We haven't heard a whole lot of anything coming out of there, except, mainly just for the noise complaint stuff. So Dearborn Heights, Michigan introduced a new police badge featuring Arabic script to reflect and honor community diversity. So she said she pulled the list of the trucking companies formed there since 2023. Trucking doesn't just move freight, it runs America. The data behind it is a mirror of what's happening in our communities. Understand trucking and you understand the country. So she's got a point here. So she's got this up here. When you break this down, I'm hoping you can see this okay. So it's basically a pie chart, and it's broken down into like Spanish, how much is Spanish, how much is Portuguese, English, Eastern European, and then Albania, Balkan, which is this light blue, and then Arabic, which is this whole big orangish pink part of the pie. Okay, so then we're going to look down here, and I'm not sure what this is down here on the bottom, but it is the names. Could it be the names of the owners of these trucking companies? I'm not sure. She didn't really go into it too much. Yeah, if I click on it, that's it. It doesn't really go into much more. So this is the Dearborn Heights Police Department in Michigan. has just revealed the America's first police badge to feature Arabic writing in order to reflect and honor diversity of our community. She put that in quotes. Okay, so they've been doing things in Dearborn very slowly. I'm waiting for the day that they're going to try to pull the trigger and say that now Dearborn is under Sharia law. Said, most are one truck operations, but we do have 100 truck fleet. I don't know where the trucks are, but I'm sure they're somewhere. Okay, so what are these trucks moving around? Okay, thinking, about how many Muslims actually live in Dearborn, how many of them have been radicalized, how many of them could be in these trucks being moved around with arms and other things, okay? I want to, let me just kind of switch back. So there's a lot to think about there concerning Dearborn. There are a lot of cities in the United States that are getting very large populations of Muslim people, and I'm not purposely trying to be racist or Islamophobic, because I'm really not. I'm really not afraid of the people. But what I am afraid of is that they slowly come in and they basically replace a population, and that's part of what they're supposed to. They're supposed to take over, and everything's going to switch. They want to switch everything over to Sharia law. They want to convert everybody to Islam. So they want to do this by force. But now I want to jump back real quick. Let me see if I can find her quick enough. It's getting harder and harder because the last couple of weeks here, or last has been really, here we go. Sarah Adams posted on this, so I'm gonna switch back over to her account here. So she goes, and yep, I heard that the suspect, the Abdullah Majid Mohammed Sayed, a former member of the Michigan Army National Guard, you guessed it, reached out to the FBI in an attempt to contact ISIS. No one does this, by the way, who are real terrorists. It's good to get these inspired wannabes off the street, but the overselling of entrapment operations while they fail to hunt down the real terrorists gets old. So Sarah, I don't know that there's anybody else out there that knows more about I would say the radical Islamist, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, these groups of people. She's like the number one. No, she knows what she's talking about. For those of you that don't know Sarah Adams, she was actually in Benghazi on the night when it got attacked, with the one that they made the movie out of, the 13 Hours movie. She was actually there. She was one of the CIA analysts that was on site. Okay, so but Sarah knows her stuff. I'm just kind of looking in here. It says developing, these better be real arrests of actual terrorists. There are thousands of terrorists in this country, and we're not seeing sufficient action. No more half-assed entrapment ops that look good on a press release but do nothing to protect us. And she's got a point. So I think what Sarah is saying right now is that this whole arrest that was made, with this Sayed dude, is likely basically like a photo op for the FBI. Okay, she You can follow her. I think, what is it? TP at TPA Sarah. If you're interested in this and finding out how many of these people are actually here in the United States and where they're at, and how many actually made it through and came through the open border during Biden's time frame. How many of these people were actually nabbed? I mean, they were saying, yeah, they got through, they're here, they got through. But knowing what we know about who is actually in charge then, were these people tagged and watched, or were some of them taken into custody? I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm thinking in November, okay, and I'm not trying to be a prophecy thing or anything like that. I think in November we're going to start actually seeing some of these attacks, okay? Maybe some of them will be thwarted. I don't know. Some will be attempted. Some may come out just like how this one here did with the FBI. But I do know that the plan was, starting on or around November 1st, they were going to initially start doing some testing, kind of prodding to see. They had been doing things in the last few months. Remember, I don't know if y'all remember how there were a lot of reports out of like people being swatted. So what was happening is there were like bomb threats. There were like people calling in for break-ins, things like that. Like shots fired, or somebody heard shots fired. So what they would do is they would call these in and then time law enforcement response. Okay. So it seems to me that they were prodding and they were getting ready for something. And I don't remember anything happening towards this for October, but I know it was happening in August. But I think November, I think they want to do this before it gets too cold. Okay, when it gets really cold, wintertime, I don't think they want to do much unless it's like setting explosives someplace, firing them off, waiting for a response, and then doing a secondary. So if you're a first responder out there too, remember, if you're responding to anything like this, the first one was for damage for those that were there. The second one was to take out the first responders. Okay, just keep that in mind. Be very careful about rushing into a scene. But yeah, so I didn't have a whole lot that I wanted to go over this morning, but being that today is Halloween, I don't practice Halloween. I haven't for a very long time. I leave my lights off outside. I don't even have kids coming up to my door for candy or anything. We just don't do it. I don't believe in it. But this is kind of like a ritual of things to come. In my opinion, if we talk about Halloween a little bit, it's basically a ritual to allow entities to either enter into certain people that have like doorways open, and doorways could be a number of different things, to either enter into them and take them over, or to allow them to attach to these people, and basically with the same ends of having some of these people do things that they never intended to do. More recently, I guess you could say, over some of these school shootings and things that have happened, when questioned later, a few of them didn't remember doing it. So it was something else controlling them. I don't know. it's a very good possibility. So, as always, again, this is going to be a short one. I'm going to keep it under 30 minutes today. I will be back Monday morning. I'm not going to be doing this over the weekend. If I do go live over the weekend, it's if something big pops off, and we're going to cover that. So, if you haven't already, I'm streaming off of 2 YouTube channels and my Rumble channel. The links are in the description below. I also have an active BitChute channel. I can live stream over there. I normally don't, because anything that I put on my YouTube channels ends up going over to BitChute automatically anyway. Trying to just make sure that I covered things, and I think that's pretty much it. Please like, even if you don't stay here to watch the whole video, please give me a thumbs up, a like on this. And the other thing that really helps is if you do comments. And if you feel so inclined, you can share my links on social media. That's cool too. I appreciate it. And even if you don't have anything nice to say, you can comment, or, whatever. Or if you want to say that I'm wrong on some information, I'm fine with that. Because if I am proven wrong on some information that I'm putting out there, I will correct the record. I'm not afraid to say that I was wrong. I have been wrong before, and I have corrected the record. But if you feel so inclined, do that. Help me grow my channels. My main YouTube channel has 2,790 subscribers. Of that 2,790, I think maybe 15 are active. I don't think the other accounts even exist anymore. My newer channel has like 67 or 68 subscribers. And those are the subscribers I had from my group of friends when I first started that channel. My Rumble channel, I think I got 2 more subscribers within the last few days. But for the most part, that channel's been stagnant with the same amount of viewers. And so I get more views there, but just not the subscribers. So please subscribe. Help me work the algorithms to get my channels boosted up. I'm basically a semi-retired disabled vet, and I'm looking at possibly just doing like different YouTube stuff, video things. I'm not always going to be doing the news. I'm going to be doing other things again as well. I've got templates in place for doing some other documentaries, things that I deep dive into. I like to do research on things, especially now with biblical type things and how it relates to today. So please help me out with that. And also, if you feel so inclined, in the lower right hand corner is my PayPal. You can scan that with the QR code, or you can go to the email address up there. It's for donations via PayPal. It's my account is the IRL Media at IRLmediahq.com. Or just at IRL Media is all you need. I think that's it. Everybody, please stay safe. We're getting into a time frame where I feel things are going to start getting really hot. In other words, you got to be safe. Okay, so as I always say, heads on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings. And then I just want to say, God bless every single one of you out there on the other side of the screen. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.